Hey guys, how are you? Oh my god, it is so hot. It is Friday afternoon, 6th of December, something like that. And it is like a sauna. The humidity is crazy, absolutely crazy. Anyway, I have a little bit of, I wouldn't call it an update. I wouldn't even call it gossip. I would just, I don't know, a story maybe from someone who actually attended this particular place. So basically, this is all about the animal healing chamber centers, animal healing centers, where they have installed medbed technology, but for animals. And we don't talk much about animals because the technology and all is exactly the same as the medbeds. And the whole process is pretty much the same as humans. The only difference is the setup of the medbed, because obviously you can't have a cow laying on a bed. So I got this information from someone this morning, and I've been out all day. Thank goodness I've been in air conditioning. I can tell you it's hot. It's so hot. Oh, bloody Australia, I tell you. Anyway, this person spent the whole of yesterday taking people around an animal healing centre in Western Sydney. Sorry, that's baby magpies having a chat to its parents. So yeah, this person spent the whole day touring and educating medbed staff on the animal healing chambers, taking them for a tour around the setup, showing them where everything is and all of that. And I believe they also showed some dignitaries or people, VIPs, around this particular centre. He said, I can't give you the exact location because obviously he didn't tell me, that's classified. But they said it was part of the Western Sydney University. However, the location of where they have put this centre is secret. I'm watching these baby magpies. Anyway, so he said what will happen, okay, is when the national phone numbers are released to book your medbed appointment, the itches everyone's hot. You can also book your animal's treatment as well. And they may put you through to a different department. So you get the national number to book your appointment, and then they'll ask you, do you have any animals? You say, if you do, yes. And then they may transfer you to another department where you book your animals appointment. So basically the whole process, when you book your animals appointment, there is no scan, okay? You don't have to go back. You tell them what's wrong with your animal and you take them. Fly. So when you get there, first of all, he said that this particular facility has 8 small chambers, 10 medium chambers, and 6 large chambers. Okay. So the small chambers would be the size of a large dog travelling crate. You know, you put your dog in the back of the car, it's in those big travelling crates. It's about the size of that. The medium ones would be, what did he explain it as? I got this information this morning and I've done so much since this morning. The medium ones, you would fit a Shetland pony in. Okay, it's a big crate, like it's a box, big box. And they can turn around in it. So it's like a big cube. So you could fit a Shetland pony in the big one. And the large ones is the size of a regular horse stable. So 3.6 meters by 3.6 meters. And what they do is, and what they have at this centre is 8 small, 10 medium and 6 large. Now, they have several different preparation areas for different animals, of course. So they've got the small chambers in one section, they've got the medium chambers in another section, and they've got the large chambers in a whole different section. Now the large chambers are completely separate from the small and the medium. They're not connected because they're for horses, they're for cattle, they're for donkeys, they're for camels. Probably not camels, large animals. Okay. And what this center has for the large chambers, they have 40 preparation stables and 40 recovery stables. So if you have a horse, let's just say you've got a horse, okay, and you book your horse in, they'll direct you, you check in, and they'll direct you to a stable in the preparation area. And then when it's time for your horse, they will ask you to take the horse in. If you're there, if you're not there, then one of the staff will. And you'll walk your horse in, and you'll just tie your horse up to literally the wall, and you walk out. Literally. Now, then you go and stand next to the operator, and the operator will press a few fancy buttons, and as the horse is standing there, the chamber is scanning that horse, just like you having your scan. The horse is just tied up to the wall, just standing there, no stress, and the chamber will do the scan. Now, while the horse is there, you're standing next or sitting next to the operator. The image from the scan is coming up on the computer screen and will tell you everything about that horse. Okay. While the horse is still in the chamber, you will then discuss what you want done with the horse. Okay, so general healing. They said you can remove brands, you can remove microchips, implants, all that kind of stuff. And if you want your horse branded with a particular brand, the chamber can also do a branding as well. So when you've decided everything that you want, age regression for animals will be allowed only in extreme circumstances or very technical circumstances. 99% it's just going to be a basic general healing. Okay, so a 30-year-old horse would go back to the physical of a very healthy 10 or 11-year-old horse. Okay, so there's not really any need for age regression in animals. Okay, a 15-year-old dog would go back to a 5 or 6-year-old dog. So there's no need for age regression at all for animals. So you organize, you discuss what you want done with the animal, and then what they will do, you give your, okay, permission, and then they will start the treatment. And as the treatment is beginning, what the chamber does is it sends signals to the nervous system of the animal through the floor. So there's no drugs, no gases, no nothing. And this can be done with wild animals as well, so you don't have to touch the animal. And if we're looking at a scared dog or an excited kitten or puppy or a dangerous lion or tiger, they can send the signals, the chamber can send the signals through the floor of the chamber to the animal's nervous system, which then calms them down. Okay, it completely calms them down. So if you can't get a scan because your puppy's all excited and jumping around, they'll start these signals. So then you can do the scan while the puppy is very relaxed and just sitting there or laying down and having a nap. Okay, it doesn't put them out to sleep, it just relaxes them, makes them really, really chill. So then you can do the scan and the procedure. Now with large animals that can't lay down, okay, they can stand up. So the chamber will monitor, of course, their vitals and make sure they're not going too sleepy where they will fall down, so they have complete and total control of their legs and their body and all of that. But they're not excitable, they're not stamping their feet, they're not mucking around. They're just standing there really, really chilled. Okay, really chilled. And then the procedure will be done. So some places may let the owner stay for the duration of the procedure. Some places possibly not. They may ask you to wait in the waiting area. Okay, now it was explained because if a medbed operator is doing 20 procedures a day and they have the owner standing there with them, the owner will want to know what's going on. If you can imagine explaining the same thing over and over again 20 times in one shift. Yeah, I know how I feel about being asked the same questions over and over again. It's mentally and physically draining and emotionally draining. Okay, some centers may love the owner to stay and discuss what's going on, how everything's happening, but some centers may ask you to wait in the waiting room. Now, and it's the same for dogs, cats, small animals, all that. They have a preparation area before they go into the chamber. So dogs would have, you know, like kennels, cages, whatever. And then when they finish, they go to the recovery area. Now, for the large animal healing chambers at this particular place, there's 40 preparation stables and 40 recovery stables. Now, 10 of them have yards attached to the stable for animals that need to stay for more than a day. Okay, so let's just say my 30-year-old horse does get age regress back to a 6-year-old. He may need to stay for 2 to 3 days just to make sure he's mentally, not just physically, but mentally okay and dealing with the changes. Okay, so he would have one of those recovery stables. So most animals will go home the same day. If you travel a long way, that's why they do need these overnight before and after. Now, the recovery area for all animals, all different sizes and whatever they are, is separate to the preparation, because some animals will come with viruses, disease, fleas, ticks, all of that, and then they don't want to mix them when they've had their treatment, because then what's the point? They'll just pick it back up again and go home sick, just as sick as when they started, or with something else. So the recovery area is very, very, very separate to the preparation area. And this is for biosecurity, I think they call it, or infection control or something like that. They also have intensive care, okay, areas for animals that needs intensive care, not just an animal needing a general healing that's elderly, but ones like on cancer medications, you know, disabled, can't use their back legs or something like that. They have intensive care areas as well, where they have emergency equipment as well. And then they took a tour through the staff area. So there's overnight rooms for staff. There's security, of course. There is cafeteria. There's also cafeteria for guests that's bringing their animals, owners. There's also a few overnight rooms for the owners to stay if they're traveling a fair distance and they need to stay overnight. Yeah, so it's pretty much like a surgical hospital, like a hospital in the surgery department, except we're dealing with animals. That's pretty much what it's like. They've also got 3 4-wheel drive cars with horse and cattle trailers. They've also got, I think, 3 vans to transport animals as well. Oh, it's a car. I was wondering what that noise was. What else have they got? I think that's it. But it was really interesting how they described, the whole process and things like that. It is so similar to us. It's almost identical, except we will have our scan, and then for the public anyway, your treatment will be ordered on a different day, unless you're urgent, and then you'll have to come back. But for the animals, their scan happens in the chamber, immediately followed by their procedure. So there's no coming back again. And that's to try not to cause stress for the animal. So yeah, it's really interesting. The scan will also be able to tell the best food and diet for your animal, and also they'll have psychologists animal psychologists, animal communicators there as well as veterinary surgeons and vet nurses. What else? I'm trying to think. Yes, I know it's a long day and thinking is hard, especially when it's so hot. I think that's it. Oh yes, and you will get a printout of the scan results as well as the procedure performed and any further treatment like rehab. If you've had a dog that has been disabled or very, very sick, you might have rehabilitation to reconnect the brain to the muscles and the limbs and that kind of thing. So any further treatment plan or diets or whatever, you'll also get all those details, and it will come in a nice little folder and everything like that. I think there's also going to be vets there if you need your animal microchipped, that they can do that as well, I think. Anyway, they'll have all those details there. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else that he said. He did say that the people at this particular facility was so lovely. So lovely. They had so much fun. And they did a bit of role play as well, and they just laughed and joked, and they just had an amazing time. It was, he said it was fascinating, and he said he can't wait. He cannot wait for everything to kick off and all the centres to be up and running. And they're all ready. All the centres are ready. He just went to this one where the staff were being introduced to the centre where they will be working. So yeah, very, very interesting. And finally we get a bit of a story about it's not really information, because we know pretty much all this anyway. It's more, I don't even know what you call it, someone's testimony. There you go. We'll just call it that. Someone's testimony of actually going to an animal healing centre where they will be working and taking a tour through it. So it's really cool to get that confirmation and an approximate location in Sydney. Again, I don't even know what suburb, but he did say it is part of and on land of Western Sydney University. And Western Sydney University has land everywhere. All over Sydney, all over Western Sydney. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere, and it will be disguised, of course. So yeah, so that's all I have for you today, and I was not going to do any more videos until Christmas, and I keep on saying this, but it is fantastic news for people who want to do animal projects, animal healing centres, and people that just want their animals healed, to have a bit of an idea of what's happening and what the place looks like and how it's kind of going to be run. Okay, so enjoy that, and I guess have a wonderful day. All right, take care everyone. Bye.